Hey, hi everyone. Welcome to the next session of the Stack Architect Lab. And in our today's session, we will going to talk about DevOps building blocks. Okay, so it will give you a deep understanding of DevOps lifecycle, that how it works and how these building blocks are tied together. So let's focus on the slide deck first, and then I will talk about some real-time things related with this building blocks. So first thing here, which you need to understand is that we have the first thing called version control system. That is the first building block here. After that, what we do, we use something called continuous integration, where we do all the build, test, and integration or feedback loop kind of work here. Here we explicitly put the continuous testing, which is the third building block, so that you can understand the importance of the testing. Okay, and it is very important also, we'll talk about that. And then here you see here we are talking about continuous deployment, and here there can be something called continuous delivery also, that also we will see in our upcoming part. And here finally we have something called continuous monitoring, which is very important and very important for the feedback loop. So now let's start understanding each and everything in detail. So first thing, as you see here, is the version control. Okay, so version control system is one that record changes to document, computer programs, large website, and other collection of information over time. So if you see here is central repo is there, and then if you see here, this is the our local repository. Okay, so earlier different models were available for creating these repos for collaboration. The main idea for using the version control was to do the collaboration version control, and they can be of two type. One is centralized, or other one is of decentralized type. Okay, in this category of tools, obviously the Git is the winner and a very popular tool, GitHub, and multiple tools can fall in this category. You will see. Now, the next thing if you see here is the continuous integration, and which is a practice in which multiple developers can work parallelly and merge their code to the central repository. Okay, so that is the idea. And here you see like tool is, you see here automated build cycle. So Jenkins we are showing you. Okay, so multiple integration can be carried out per day by developers, and different tools again in this category can be there. Okay, like in version control, GitHub is there, GitLab is there, Git Bash is there, then like Bitbucket is there, SVN is there, Azure repo is there, code commit is there. Here also so many things are there. We have something called AWS code pipeline, code commit, code deploy, code build. So this complete things are there in AWS. In Azure we have something called Azure pipeline, where you get everything correct, Azure organization related suite, where you can get the Azure board, Azure repo, build pipeline, release pipeline, all test cases and everything there. The next thing is continuous testing, and continuous testing is the process of executing the automated test to obtain the immediate feedback on the risk associated with the software, as you know, correct? And here you can do all your integration testing, functional testing, unit testing, everything you can do here. JUnit tool is there, Selenium is there, Playwright is there, multiple tools fall in this category. Now let's talk about the continuous deployment. And continuous deployment is a procedure where any code commit passes automatically testing is released automatically into the production. So we'll talk more about the continuous delivery and continuous deployment. That what exactly is the difference between these two, and we'll see that why this is really important for the organization. And this is the difference between the delivery versus deployment. Okay, so now let's quickly see on this whiteboard that what exactly things we can do here. Okay, so the first thing which you need to understand is that DevOps lifecycle comprises of 8 phases. Okay, it comprises of 8 phases. Now, what is the first phase here? What is the first phase? First phase is something which is related with planning. Okay, so that is the first phase. Our first phase is planning. What is our second phase? Second phase is the source or code phase. Then third phase come, and third phase is the build phase. Fourth phase is more about test phase. Then if you see here the fifth phase is all about the release phase. And then sixth phase is about the deploy. Seventh phase is about the operate. We call it as a configuration management or infrastructure as a code also. And then finally, eighth module is more about the monitoring phase. Correct. So these all phases can be there, and okay, and if I draw here, then this is my second phase. Let me quickly write it here. This is my second phase here. This is my third phase here. This is my fourth phase here. This is my fifth phase here, sixth phase here, seventh phase here, and the eighth phase here. Correct? So you can map this. That first is the planning. Second is the source code. Third is the build. Fourth is the testing phase. Fifth is the release phase. Sixth is the deploy phase. Seventh is the operate phase, which we call it as a configuration management or infrastructure as a code also. And the eighth is the monitoring phase. First, this is our life cycle. Now, how it work? What is the meaning of this life cycle that we need to understand? Okay, so first and foremost thing. Now, first thing when we say that, okay, this is the one thing here. Whenever we start any project, obviously we do some planning. Correct. So that is the planning phase. Okay, we plan everything that how we will execute, what all things we will create, and other things. Now the next thing come that our developers actually start doing something like this. They say that, okay, I will put my code into the source or code. Okay, now what is the source and code? This source and code can be your Git or any other thing, for example. Okay, now once they do that, once they put this thing here, what they do, they send it to the next level. Now what is the next level? The next level is that it should go for something called continuous integration. So what is this continuous integration that we need to understand? So the continuous integration is something where we do the three things as I told you earlier. We do something called build, test, and it is the feedback loop. Okay, so these three things if you are doing, we call it as a CI server. Okay, so if you are doing these three things, we call that server as a CI server or continuous integration server. This is our continuous integration server. Okay, now what does it mean? It means that very small pieces whatever we send. Okay, so if developer is sending some of the pieces here, some code he's sending. Okay, so now when he's sending something here, when this person is sending something here, they say that, okay, one piece of code is this much. Okay, this is one code. Now this piece is there, and before only before this developer sent this code, earlier we had this much code. This much code was already there. Okay, so what is the idea? The idea is that this pink code should get merged or should get integrated with this turquoise code. Correct, that is the goal here. So that's why we call it as a continuous integration. That means the build for this turquoise code is already here, everything is good here, but as soon as we added this pink color piece, it should actually go, okay, it should also go to this continuous integration server. For this also this build should happen, for this code also this testing should happen, and this should happen individually also, and with this turquoise code also, means unit test, functional test, and integration testing also should happen here. And based on that, this server, our CI server, should able to send the feedback to us. So where it will send the feedback, actually it send the feedback to user saying that whether this continuous integration was successful or it failed. Okay, so that is the fun one part of the story. Now same way we will keep doing it. Say for example, another developer is there. Okay, and this developer is also writing some code, and then later this code come. Correct, so now already we have turquoise and pink. Now this code also will go here, and then it will try to integrate with this existing code. If this integrated code work, then the feedback will be successful. Okay, you will get the successful feedback. Otherwise the failed feedback you will get. Okay, you will get the message that it got failed. Correct, so this loop should keep going in DevOps. We call it as a continuous integration. When we talk about the CD part, Then CD part has two components. CD can be continuous delivery or it can be continuous deployment. Okay, so two things can be here. So now let's understand this thing here. So say for example, I have three servers, and these three servers I can call it that, okay, one is my development server, okay, and one is my stage server, and one is my production server. Say for example, one is development, then one is stage, and say for example, this is my production environment. Now how we can do the deployment? Okay, once CI/CD pass, in my earlier step I told you that, okay, feedback go to the user. Correct, feedback go to the user. Once we do the continuous integration, then after that feedback go to the user. But if say for example everything is successful, then what is the next step? If everything is successful, then actually what happen is it try to send the code to this environment for deployment. Okay, that means it send the code to development environment, okay, for deployment. Correct. And here obviously developers have full right, and they do the complete testing, and then after testing they will say that, okay, whether the code was successful or not, or if they want to do any modification based on those errors, they can do the modification. Once it pass, then automatically our code should move to the next stage. And what is the next stage in our case? This is the next stage, which is the stage environment. In this stage environment also automatically it should go and deploy. So till now everything is automated. If you see, user is committing the code in the git, and then automatically it is going to the CI server. Build is happening, testing is happening, feedback, if it get failed, user get the message that this person need to resolve that issue, and then again need to push the code in the git. That is the one thing. Or if it is successful, it come to the environment, real environment, which is the development environment or stage environment or whatever can be. Correct, but it is a automated method. But now at this stage we have two options. Okay, we have two options with us. One is that, okay, I want to end-to-end automation I can do. Okay, and in that I will say that everything should be automated. So this is my prod. Again, I am writing here, and in one method what I am saying is that, okay, I don't want to interrupt the flow what was coming earlier. I am happy with this, and I'm happy with this, that the way in which it is coming. And I'm saying that, okay, I'm good to automatically deploy the code on the production because everything is good. And if it fail, then obviously from stage only it will go back. I'm saying that, okay, if there is some problem, then my DevOps is so much mature that automatically it will send this back to the user here. So I'm very good. But in many organization you will see that may not be the case. Why? Because of many reasons. One is maybe their DevOps is not that mature. They feel that we should not implement anything directly on production, because every time whenever we try to deploy something, here and there we are missing something, and it create outage. So they want to take the cautious approach. Or the second reason for this approach is that some folks want that, no, there is something called a change advisory board. Okay, in some of the organization, people follow this thing called change advisory board. Now what does change advisory board do? They actually take the call. What call they take? They take this call that, okay, whether to go ahead with the deployment or not. It is not because of just code related issue. They see overall that, okay, whether there is any business issue, there is any planned business event, there is any problem which can happen because of some other team. So they take that decision. If everyone approve this thing, then only they want to deploy this code on the production, otherwise no. Okay, so two approaches that, okay, first is end-to-end automation. Okay, end-to-end automation you can do. And the second approach is in which you say that, no, I will not do this end-to-end automation. Okay, and I will stop here. I will stop here only. Okay, I will not proceed further. Okay, and here I will go with the manual step only. Someone manually go and do this deployment here on the production environment. Okay, so and there come the difference between the continuous delivery and the continuous deployment. So if you go with the second approach, if you go with the second approach here, okay, we call that second approach as the continuous delivery. Okay, second approach is continuous delivery. Okay, and if you talk about the first approach, that is the continuous deployment. Okay, so that is the main difference between these two. And now if I can go back to my slide deck, I think it will be very easy for you to understand that what we were showing you earlier. Okay, so now I'm switching, I have already switched to this slide deck here. And as you can see here, in this case, like continuous delivery is manual, as I told you, and the process of deployment and continuous deployment is automated process. So continuous delivery, as you see here, building, testing, acceptance, and then production deployment is always manual. Whereas if you see in the continuous deployment, build, test, acceptance, and then auto prod is available here. And then finally, continuous monitoring come, and continuous monitoring is a process used to detect the risk issues associated with the operational environment. Various tools are available in market. This is very key area if you want to become SRE. Okay, and like in monitoring, if you want to go, and you can monitor resource like infrastructure and software. You can increase overall visibility of the organizational risk. So Nagios, Splunk, you can see here, but many more tools are there, like Prometheus is there, Grafana is there, correct, Azure Monitor is there, Azure Insight is there, CloudWatch is there, CloudTrail is there, and many more tools are available in this category, which can help you in doing this thing in a better way. Okay, on that note, we are good to close this session. If you have any feedback, comment, suggestion, please feel free to let us know. And again, thank you very much for joining this session of Stack Architect Lab. And soon we will come up with the new session. Keep liking, subscribing, following the Stack Architect Lab. We are available on obviously YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, and X. Thank you very much. Keep learning.